Hello everyone, and welcome to the Wonder of Star Wars The Old Republic, episode 18. On the last episode, we picked up about a bajillion quests. Now we're about to go turn one of them in. This is the one with the turrets.
The turrets are ready for reprogramming.
Hail the Emperor! I owe you my thanks and far more. The Corps of Engineers will more than compensate you for your service. Now those rebels will see how lucky they are to be part of the glorious Empire.
Easy peasy, simple quest. One thing that I wanted to mention last episode that I really want to share with you guys is thank you for sending me mails, especially those who send me mails of in-character messages. If you ever send me any type of items or credits, I'm just going to return them, but I definitely did see your mail and they're very fun to read. I really do enjoy getting them. Can't read them on screen though because I had to check them, make sure they're actually safe to say on camera first. So Balmorra is a fairly big place. There's going to be a lot of travel. We're happy now that we have a speeder, even if it's at the lowest power of speederdom. Let's see. Got a couple of quests in here. Got another one over here, heroic. I'm wondering at what point am I going to kind of start if I'm going to be underleveled or underpowered to do heroics, because a couple of them I was doing on Dromund Kaas actually gave me a bit of a pause, like I had to actually pay attention and stuff like that. But that could have just been Dromund Kaas, first planet, second planet. I'm already level 27, downgraded to 22. So probably maybe start actually learning my class sometime soon. Maybe we'll have an episode just where I go through the abilities and look up a class guide on Dolphy. I did see a very interesting post on Reddit the other day that I kind of wanted to talk about. This player was saying that they hadn't played with a guild for a long time and they were pretty good at the game. They do good DPS, they know how to play their characters, stuff like that. And that they were also bringing along with them a friend who was pretty new, didn't really know what they were doing yet. And they brought them into a guild that does specifically operations, ops. It's the 8-man group content in the game for those of you who aren't familiar. Oh, let's press the button. Goodbye, generators. And they joined a guild with the idea of specifically doing ops. This wasn't, as far as I understand, like a social guild or a learning guild or anything like that. It was meant for people who wanted to do operations. So much stuns, how rude. Let's go, let's go. Is there anything in this room? Oh, there was. Oops. And when they got there, they were doing the Operation Scum and Villainy. If you've never played that one, it is a very long operation. It has 7 bosses when there's normally 5, and it was story mode. So most of the story modes are roughly around the same difficulty, I guess you could say. They're meant to be kind of entry-level operations. There's 2 of them that are like super easy, almost no mechanics. You can kind of just roll through them without even paying attention, and the others all have some form of mechanic or another, but they are really meant to be done by players who are fairly new to the game. You can't be like just pressing the 1 button and hoping that'll get you through, but you don't have to have the best gear because there's a bolster mechanic. As long as you have a piece of gear in every slot, that's usually enough. You can even be as low as level 50 to go into these, to give you an idea. The max level right now is 70, so you can be 20 levels under max level and still be considered able to complete those operations. Oh man, I was hoping it would blow up. I'm just pressing buttons. I don't even know what these are. These are shield control. Oh, I see what's going on here. We gotta hustle. I can't Val, stop being useless and go press the other button. Run! Run! What? Let's give this another shot. There's probably like a puzzle I'm missing somewhere here. Oh! Come on! Feel like I'm missing something. Let's see what else we got in the room here, because this is clearly not working. I see there's a panel on the other side. Ooh, Datacron. Oh, this is not my quest. This is a Datacron that I've literally never done before. Oh my gosh. I've never seen this one. Wow, okay, that's exciting. I thought this was just my quest bugging out or something. I'm assuming, what I'm guessing is that you're meant to come in here with 2 different people. Where am I? So you guys can come here. This is in Balmora to the south of Sobrik. It's called the Nibre warehouse. So I'm assuming what you need to do here is you need to go and grab a buddy and bring them over here. One presses that button, one presses the other button, and then you guys can run inside and the other buttons to let you back out again. Ah, oh, that's too bad. I wonder, I can talk in general chat now that I'm past level 25. Is anyone interested in getting a 2-person Datacron? It's in the south area. It's in the south of Sobrik. I'll keep chat open and maybe we'll find somebody. Oh, sweet! We got a buddy. So this is one of the great things about MMOs, you actually play with other people. I don't too much in this playthrough because it's difficult to talk to you guys and to talk to another person. He says, do you know where it is? Yes, I found it. It requires 2 people. Head south. I'll meet you outside. So that's interesting. They don't know about this one either, it looks like. Oh, level 28, just from killing random stuff. There we go. Let's see if we can find our friend on the map. Yes, we can. To your... Never eat shredded wheat. You can see me on the map now. Sweet. So I'll continue my story about this person who joined a guild to do ops. So they went into this story mode operation. And for those of you familiar, they were doing the warlords in Scum and Villainy. And those bosses can be a bit of a difficult challenge for the mechanics, for knowing what to do and how to fight them and how to deal with them. But once you actually know that, they aren't very strong. Like, groups have done it in like under 3 minutes. Now, what the person who made the post was saying was that they went into that group, they went into that fight, and they hit the enrage timer. Now, in operations, the game doesn't really want you to survive forever and prolong the fights over a course of like 20 minutes, slowly whittling them down. That's not very fun and not really much of a challenge. It's just super repetitive. They want you to deal with the mechanics that the boss presents you, and they want you to have to like get out of the way when there's bad stuff on the ground. They want you to move around when required. They want you to attack and not attack when the mechanics require. So in this boss, there's a lot of moving around, and there is some mechanics you have to deal with, but you can most of the time just be attacking the bosses. And they ended up being so poor at doing damage to the bosses that they ended up taking over 7 minutes, which is what I believe the enrage timer is, which basically says you're not allowed to fight anymore. You're done here. You gotta go start over and be a little faster next time. So what the player was actually asking was, is my guild just really bad? Are they like so horrible at playing the game, at doing damage, that it would be impossible for us to do this? Or are the story modes really hard? Like, did they get tuned differently? And the pretty overwhelming consensus is that yes, story modes are super easy. But what I thought was interesting was his response to what he could do next, and what his guild leader's response was to this whole affair about them not even being able to pass that boss. And they even had some bonus, I guess, things going on that would have made it even easier technically. So who's my friend here? His name is No Honor. Two buttons, have to press both together. Oh, say when. When? Oh! Go, Taurus, go! Yes! Nice! Oh, so cool. I'm really glad I didn't sit there for the next 20 minutes trying to figure out the puzzle. That would have been so dumb. Sweet, we got our friend says thank you and have a nice day. So, Galactic History number 30, Rise of the Sith Emperor. Well, this should be a good one. This Datacron holds unheard of power and knowledge collected by an ancient race. You access its power and discover writing which are clearly only one small piece of a massive galactic history. With the end of the Great Hyperspace War, the Republic and the Jedi began to purge the remnants of the Sith Empire, obliterating its power centers, destroying its dark teachings, and leaving its people without a clear leader. The Supreme Chancellor and his allies argued that this was not a battle against the Empire's citizenry, but a necessary step to free the Sith from corruption. The survivors among the Sith, and they were few, as famine, disease, and infighting claimed those who did not continue to face down the Republic, saw it as a death blow to their culture. But a savior arose. The man who would one day become the Emperor of the Sith had weathered the war with a number of trusted followers. No record of the Sith Emperor's original identity has survived, but he was quickly accepted as the leader of the almost shattered Sith Empire. Although the Republic had temporarily retreated from the Horus-Set system, the Sith Emperor knew that Korriban would not be safe for long. While the few survivors emerged from their shelters in the deserts and shattered tombs, the Sith Emperor began to devise a plan, centuries in the execution, that would ensure the survival of the Sith and the eventual annihilation of the Republic. I really do like... Kimball, you're stuck. I really do like the lore that revolves around Vitiate. It's just a very, very cool lore. I don't know what I think, for those of you who've played the Noose expansion, what I think of him, how he ties into all of that, but I do like the original lore about him and what he did to gain power. Very cool stuff. I'm hoping we'll eventually get a codex about that too. So back to my story. Guy joins a guild with his friend. Guild does really, really poorly in operations, so poorly that it's next to impossible to almost do in the first place. And how did his guild leader respond? Now this is an interesting thing. When your group's doing really badly in an operation, it could be for a huge number of reasons. Maybe, I would say the most common one is that not everyone is aware of what they're supposed to do. As I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of mechanics that require you to move around, to be attacking certain things at certain times, and especially in story mode, if you're not doing them correctly, it doesn't even matter if you're doing a bajillion damage or like 2 damage. It literally does not matter if you're following the mechanics, because without following the mechanics, you'll be doing 0 damage. You won't be able to progress in the fight. So a lot of the time I found that when groups are failing in story mode, in hard mode and master mode, it's a whole different story there. It's the group isn't aware of what they're supposed to be doing, or key individuals don't really know what's up. Oh! us die. I'm telling a story. So a really good example might be that you're fighting two bosses. One has a shield up and the other doesn't. If anyone's attacking the one with the shield, they do no damage. You're supposed to attack the other one, not the one with the shield. If your team doesn't know what's up and doesn't realize there's a shield, then they may be wasting all their DPS and you run into that enrage timer. So stuff like that happens fairly often, or you forget to get all the bad stuff, you die, and all of a sudden your team is down a person and can't do the DPS required because you're short a whole DPS. In their specific case, they, as far as they could tell, were doing the mechanics correctly, but they were not doing enough DPS, enough damage per second to actually kill the boss. And their guild leader's response was what kind of made me stop and think about this especially. Their guild leader's response, instead of saying, well, let's find out why we're doing low DPS, let's find out if maybe one of us needs a little more practice, let's all go grab some guides or try and analyze what we're doing wrong here. The guild leader's response was to say that everyone needs to stop playing whatever character they're using, go find and create a new character of the best class in the game, the one that can do the most damage, because if we can't even pass story mode as it is, we're going to need the best of the very best that we can get when we get to nightmare mode, if we ever get there. So this is very interesting because there is always going to be a best class in the game, just the way the numbers work. We talked about a while ago why they try and do class balances to try and even this out a bit, but a skilled player can very easily take even the lowest class and make it do enough damage to do the operations. I don't know 100% about nightmare mode, and especially the class spec I'm playing right now. Lightning is rated very low. I couldn't tell you if it's enough for nightmare mode, but I bet you there's a skilled enough group out there that could make it work with even the worst class in the game right now. So this guild leader's response was kind of incorrect, I guess you could say. It wasn't the best line of thinking, because what that group of people needed was to really be able to learn the class that they actually want to play, first off, but more importantly to take a really good look at why they weren't doing enough damage. It's story mode. They absolutely have the ability to do enough damage. It's not because of their class. And so that player who did the original post now has a really interesting choice to make. They can take the time and teach their group and maybe work with the guild leader if the guild leader's interested, or they can go and look for a new guild. None of those choices are incorrect. It's totally okay if you join a guild and you're fine they're not meeting whatever your expectations are. What am I supposed to be doing here? Destroy the defensive emplacements. I don't know what defensive emplacements look like. Are there any up here? Is there any over here? If I kill things while I figure it out. So if you're joining a guild and it's not meeting your expectations, maybe you joined a PvP guild and you're finding they're just really bad at PvP. Maybe you joined a RP guild and you're finding they can barely do the complete sentences thing. It is okay to leave. It's not your job to teach them. It's not your requirement to teach them. You come and play the game for fun. You don't have to have that burden if you don't want to or you don't enjoy that. Now the other option is if the person really does enjoy those players and wants to continue playing with them and wants to continue doing operations, they can choose to take that burden of teaching them. Some people may enjoy this, some people do not. I'm clearly one of the people who really enjoys teaching other players, so I don't have an issue with that, but I really understand how it can be sometimes a chore because you have to spend a lot of time nurturing people, teaching people who are new, and bringing them up to speed, especially if they're not really self-starters, that you might spend all your time doing that and not actually spend any time playing the parts of the game you originally wanted to play, like actually getting to those nightmare mode operations. Oh, defensive emplacement. It's a turret. So if you're in an operations group and you're finding that you are not meeting the DPS, the damage per second requirements of the encounters. For example, you've looked up the mechanics. As far as you can tell, everyone's doing it right. Nobody's dying most of the time, or at max one person is dying at a time. Here are the things that you will start to look for. Well, I'm going to look for some more turrets. I spy one. These are the things that you want to do. First off, you have to make your group comfortable. You're going to have a wide range of players in your group. Some people are brand new, some people are veterans, some people are experienced, and them doing low damage could be for a variety of reasons too. Maybe they don't know their class, maybe they're not feeling well that day and just are having complete brain fart, having trouble even like moving the mouse around. Maybe they're used to playing a different class or spec and they're actually veterans but not on the specific character. Maybe they've got something messed up in their gear, like they forgot to put any accuracy or something like that. So the first step is kind of identifying where the problem is. It could be your entire group, it could be maybe one or two individuals, it could be literally just one person isn't carrying their weight and everyone else isn't good enough to carry them in their backpack, I guess you could say. So you do have to understand that if you want someone to work with you and to grow and get better, tearing them down and telling them they suck and they need to get better, you're going to kick them out, is not really the way to do it. It's okay if you're looking to do a more serious group to set requirements. For example, okay guys, we're going to try and push for X amount of DPS and make sure this is actually a fair amount. Not like, please do 3,000 damage more than you're currently doing or you're out. That's going to be a tough order to follow. Have we killed enough defense emplacements yet? Yes, we have. Okay, let's get out of here. Bye! So how can you go about... Is this guy not dead yet? Is Kimball just sitting there healing himself? He's at 1%. Come on, Kimball. So like I said, the first step is identifying where the problem is. Now, when you're dealing with mechanics, as a tank or a healer, if you play one of those two roles, you're in an ideal role to be watching the other players and seeing if there's anyone who's really struggling with the mechanics themselves. For example, as a tank, since I'm so up close and personal with the boss, I can often see when my guildmates are standing in the bad stuff. I can usually call it out to them and say, hey, get out of the stuff, and I'll maybe know that Bob over there is maybe not the best at standing out of the bad stuff, and we should help and encourage him a little more than not.
Stop! Please! Wait! We need this generator. If you destroy it, we'll all die.
Who are you?
My name is Men. My village was raised in the war. The few of us who survived came here to find shelter. Please, we are not part of the resistance. We haven't hurt anyone. We just need someplace to go when our homes were destroyed.
I'm sorry, Min. The heroic music is motivating me to do evil.
It pains me terribly to hear it.
I'm begging you. We won't survive without power. And we have nowhere else to go. Can't you just leave the generator running?
Let's see, what was the generator doing again? You know what, I need to check this quest before I make my decision. Let's see, we are at main generator, settling debts. Lieutenant Larbeck has determined that you're just the person to help him take out the local rebel stronghold once and for all, infiltrate the resistance base and steal their power regulators and destroy their defenses and their generator. If I save them, they'll stop attacking us, right? Let's just pretend that's true.
Who?
Alright. Good guy, Javiik!
I suppose there's no harm in leaving the generator with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Don't give me cause to rethink this.
We won't. I swear it. Thanks again.
It's okay. If they do bad, I'll just come in here
There's nothing
and...
further. The Empire's interests in this sector will see marked improvement thanks to your actions. Good day.
I'll just come in here and use Force Storm over and over and over. Force Storm spam for the death, I guess. So as I was saying, for the mechanics, and if you're on it playing healer, you can watch and see which player is having their health go down low, often for no particularly good reason. For example, the boss is not on them. That means they're probably standing in the stupid a lot. So the first step is just the visual. If you can, try and watch the other players, especially if you're an experienced player and you already have your keybinds memorized, you kind of know where you're supposed to stand just kind of off the top of your head. You are the one who has the ability to watch others. Let's see, let's head back to Sobrik there. Let's do a little quick travel. I miss having it on my bar though. Now, the second step is a more numbers-based approach, and this is where the hard feelings sometimes actually start kicking in. So once again, if you're actually trying to encourage your team to get better and you actually want to play with them, not you want to just like kick their ass into line. Oh, sorry, bad word. Like these are people you like, your friends, and you want to continue playing with them. That's when you really want to assure them that these are goals we want to meet together and we're going to help you get them. We're not like making fun of you for doing bad. These are just the numbers the way they are, and we're going to get you the guides and the gear and the stuff you need to do better.
At last.
Ooh, polarity
a worthy
shift.
disciple.
Cool. Your connection to the Force shifts, granting 20% alacrity and immunity to pushback and interrupts for 10 seconds. I don't have place for that in my bar. I don't know how important it is right now. Probably need that later.
Be gone.
Major, if we don't get those supply vehicles...
My men are working on it, sir, but until that shipment of plasteel I requested 3 months ago comes in...
I don't care! Tear it off the walls if you have to!
What was that all about?
Don't worry about the Colonel. He's loud and impatient, but we all are these days. What with a supply shortage. Now, did you manage to find anything out of the lab? Captain Ilun and I have been doing our own research, but we haven't discovered much.
A lot of data there. Not sure how useful.
Have a look at this, Captain. I can't make head or tail of it.
This confirms our suspicions. The collocoids were being mutated to clean up the waste, and it looks like the chemical mutagen they were using could theoretically work.
It is, Quinn!
That's it!
It is!
That's our solution, right? We just replicate this chemical mutagen.
Sir, there's a problem. Our chief scientist defected to the Republic a few months back. We can't begin to replicate, let alone test the serum without him.
Have there been a lot of defections?
Lately, yes. Of course, the defectors' bodies usually turn up a few weeks later in a ditch somewhere.
Any idea how they end up that way?
That's classified. We have intelligence that Janos Tirek, our chief scientist, is alive and on Balmora, in a Republic research base out near the Toxic Lakes.
Oh, we're gonna go
You
get a
find this
traitor.
scientist, you subdue him, my men will bring him back, and we'll get you your chance to swim in toxic waste.
Consider it done.
Oh, and Sith, hurry back. I just got word that my son passed his trials on Korriban and is on his way to Balmora. I don't want you to miss him.
Ah, I want to meet this guy. That's exciting. I was saying I probably killed him in the academy, but if he's on his way here, he definitely did not get slain by my hand. I want to meet another acolyte. That's cool. Let's see what else we got going on here. Also, I'm really liking Javiik. Javiik hit Dark 1 a little while ago, and you can see it in his eyes. It looks really neat.
Must have been imagining things, but I could have sworn I heard those generators go pop from here.
Boom.
Thank you, my lord. But it looks like the resistance isn't done yet.
You'd think the Empire would have an easier time with a ragtag bunch of resistance fighters.
Used to be we kept the Resistance in check in the wilds, but now they've started to get bolder. They're attacking Imperial holdings in the old Balmoran industrial area. We need to punish their boldness. Lieutenant Thorpe at Marcaran Outpost has some ideas about how to put the Resistance back in their place.
Let's go talk to Thorpe. Is he in here? He's all the way down there. Oh, we never talked to that bartender. Oops. So the numbers-based approach is by having everyone in your group install something called Star Parse. And Star Parse is, as far as I know, the one that people use right now. There's been a couple of others in the past. I think there's at least one other active one. But it's a way of taking the combat logs that are generated, like how much damage you did each blow, how much healing you did each heal, how much damage you took each turn, and outputting them in a way that's easy to understand and read. So this program is actually one of the very few mods that exist for Star Wars The Old Republic, and it's 100% allowed by the game. It is just fine. You won't get in trouble for using it. It does not alter anything in the game. It only adds stuff to it. Hey, bartender.
Evening, sir. What can I offer to wet your throat and bring a smile to your lips?
Point me to Harrow's barn so no one gets hurt.
Men were looking for him yesterday, too. Imperial intelligence. Whatever he did, I don't want to know. Harris! Leave the girls alone and get over here. Someone wants you.
And what does such a respected Sith want with Harris Bant?
He looks like an old Theron Shan.
You've got something that belongs to the Imperial Army.
Possible. I get a lot of gifts, you know. It'd be rude to refuse them.
Give me the plans, and you go home with your head.
Okay. You're talking about the package I snagged from the Sakol girl, right? Good looker, that one. But not much between the ears. Anyway, here they are. It's just some data disks. I don't even know what's on them.
Was Kalara in on this? Did she give you the discs?
You think she's innocent? She knew who I was. But when we were together, we weren't talking politics.
Just make sure you're out of Imperial space by sundown.
Don't worry. You're not my type.
I like how Gempal disapproved me not wantonly killing. Apparently not his type. He doesn't like large, furry, dark men. I'm a cool drink of water. I don't care what you say. So, as I was saying, Star Parse does not actually alter anything in the game, and to correct myself, it doesn't add anything to the game either. It won't do anything for you. It doesn't give you free credits. It doesn't make you magically kill things in PvP. It only takes those numbers that the game automatically generates into a log, like a text file kind of, and it interprets them for you. It kind of like adds up certain ones and shows you the total. So what's most useful is if everyone in the group downloads Star Parse, and then you all go into a combat encounter together. For example, you go up against a boss. It will actually show you what everyone's damage is. So let's say Bob did 5,000 damage and Karen only did 1,000 damage. Well, Karen is not doing so hot. So now you know that the person in the group who needs help the most is Karen. So now the more experienced players in the group can give her some advice now that they know that she's actually having an issue, because maybe they're watching her attack the boss and she's not standing in the bad stuff. She's following the mechanics. She's listening and paying attention. Everything seems fine. And oh, it's actually Karen. Okay, Karen, let's talk and see what's going on with your damage. So the first thing I usually check is their gear. Sometimes players, especially newer players, don't really know how gearing works or how the bolster works. So first off, the first thing you want to look for is, do they have a piece of gear in every slot? That is pretty important, particularly for bolster in story mode. If you're going into the veteran mode or master mode without any gear, I don't know what to tell you. So let's just pretend we're only doing story mode right now. So the way bolster works is it requires a piece of gear in every slot and then it will bolster it. But let's say you don't have a relic, like for some reason you didn't pick one up along the way and you only have 1 out of 2, you will not get your bolster. Is this where my quest is? Oh yeah, here we go.
You look satisfied. I hope it's because the wretched spy who stole my blaster designs lies dead on his own floor.
He surrendered your documents without the need for violence.
I will not question your judgment. I'm certain you had reason to release a known Republic spy. But what of Kalara? Did you question him as to her role in this affair?
All he said was she's a lousy kisser.
The bore! But I won't linger on that image. It's clear Kalara's part in this was vital and willing. If you haven't tired of my sordid tale, perhaps you could undertake one more task.
I'd have to hear more about it first.
If the authorities learned of Kalara's folly, it would ruin the good name of this office, shut us down for months of investigation. All the while, the Resistance would be gaining strength.
The penalty for aiding a spy is death.
I'm glad we see eye to eye on this.
Wait a sec, we let the spy go?
Considering how best to end this disaster. It should be quiet, quick. Something that can be blamed on the rebels, no questions asked.
I've got a talent for that.
Let me call Kalara. I will tell her you are to escort her to my colleague Garboza at the Imperial outpost. The route has many isolated spots, suitable for rebel ambush.
Oh, is it time?
My dear, this is the bodyguard I've asked to bring you to the outpost. Garboza asked me to thank you for your assistance at such short notice.
One never knows what companions life's journey will provide.
Ooh, a philosopher. This should be fun.
He will meet you at the transit point. Wait for him there.
I love you too.
Go then. When you find yourselves alone, you can put an end to her treason.
When you find yourselves alone, have a furry kiss.
You can count on my discretion.
Just be kind about it. I loved her once. It is best our names not be linked after this. When the deed is done, go to Officer Garboza at the outpost. He'll have your reward. You need not say what it's for.
I still think it's funny that... Oh, can we finish this one? Does it still want me to go finish the other one? Yes, we do. Okay, cool. That's kind of cool. It's like an actual quest chain with a reward in the middle. I still think it's funny that he was okay not killing the actual spy, but he still really wants to kill his daughter. I have a strong suspicion Javiik is not okay with this. Hey.
Ah, you must be here for Officer Sokol's wife. He said to expect you. One moment.
Oh, it's his wife. I was thinking it was his daughter for some reason.
Gran doesn't usually go out of his way to see me protected. Is this going to be so dangerous? I can't remember the last time you voluntarily let me spend time with a man who wasn't stodgy or senile.
Start walking. We've got no reason to chat.
Sorry, let's get going.
Oh, I remember this quest. Oh, I remember having to do it like 5 million times. Oh, she goes so slowly. I think I'm supposed to protect her. Oh, yeah. Where are you going, baby? Are there any bad guys? No. I'm just gonna cry about this quest. Anyways, so first step, take a look around and see if there is any items missing from their equipment. If there is items missing from their equipment, ask around your guild if anyone can craft them easily, or just go buy a cheap one from the GTN, because literally an item is better than 0 item because of the bolster, even if it's like level 20. Where are we going, friend? I just wanna go faster. I got to kill these guys. Second step is to see if any of those items are ridiculously low level. So for example, maybe they were upgrading their gear as they played, but for whatever reason that earpiece got left behind and its item rating 50, and like the current gear's item rating 220. Maybe you can go quickly buy an earpiece from the GTN and upgrade that one, or have someone craft it once again. And that is a easy first step as the gear. And don't forget things like accuracy. I don't know what the exact numbers are right now. I'll try and remember to include a link in the description of this video, but for example, at the time when I was gearing myself up, accuracy for DPS wanted to be at 110%, so you would actually hit the boss. If accuracy is like 5%, that means you're not ever hitting the boss, and that could be a reason why your DPS is so low.
Why are you looking around so much? Like that? It's like you're looking for someone. Are you expecting an attack? Why did Gan send an armed escort when I'm just going to the outpost?
I'm supposed to kill you as a traitor to the Empire.
What? Gan wants you to kill me? Are you going to?
If you've betrayed the Empire, you deserve to die.
I
That's
haven't
not
done
what I
anything.
said.
Good grief, is this about Harris? Yes, I slept with him, and the slime never even picked up a comlink after that. Is Gan such a baby that he'd frame me for treason because I slept around? Treason? Seriously? Tell Gan that Harris is a jerk and I've broken it off. If he had the guts, he would ask me himself.
Your boyfriend has known connections to Republic intelligence.
I don't know anything about that. The guy told me he was a pilot. Look, can't you just talk to him or something? He wouldn't really kill me for this, would he?
I do the killing, or you need to run. Well, to be honest, Javiik is not super invested in the success of the Empire, and he's still not, although he has killed way too many people so far, he's still not really, I guess, happy about it. Doesn't have the bloodlust yet, or the killing for funsies yet. So get the hell out of here, Kalara.
I let you go, and he'll just send someone else. You should get off planet by nightfall.
But where will I go? Everything I own is here. I mean, thank you, but over one night? One lousy night?
What did we learn from this? If you're going to cheat on your husband, make sure not to do it with a spy who will steal your stuff. I think that's a valuable lesson everyone should know in their life. So once you've established that gear is not the issue, once they've got a decent amount of gear and a gear in every slot, then what you can fairly easily assume is the problem is their actual act of playing the game. They're not playing the game well enough for operations. Now, in our guild, we have I guess you could say a motto called play how you want. Not our actual motto, but we say it quite a bit. Play how you want. You can play however you want. If you want to just roleplay all day and never actually touch a quest, that's fine. If you only want to PvP all day, that's fine. If you want to play PvP casually, that's fine. If you want to play PvP ranked and be the best there can be, that's fine. Have fun.
Ah, the apprentice. I was wondering when you'd reach the front lines. I'm Fixer 66. I'm with the operations branch of Imperial Intelligence, and if you have a moment, I'd like to show you something.
You have my attention, Fixer.
On the left is an ordinary Republic comm unit issued to Resistance fighters. You've probably seen hundreds before. This other one is a Republic comm unit that has undergone some surgery. Please look, don't touch. The second one contains a ½ kilo of high explosive that detonates when the talk button is pressed.
I assume this is meant to deal with the Resistance.
Yes, the plan is to take a few of these sabotaged comm units behind the Resistance's lines and plant them on their dead. The Resistance should soon salvage the comms and take them back to their headquarters. Resulting explosions will cripple and panic them.
Oh, that's
We prefer
horrid.
someone like you to take point. Someone who won't break if captured and who can go without reinforcements. Can you do this?
We will annihilate them. In roleplay story, we'll refuse this quest, but I think because we're just trying to do all the quests for the sake of the game.
Head
So
over
you
to
can
our
see them
technical
all.
man, a Balmora local we drafted. The men call him Toybox. He'll give you the ordnance and show you how to transport it safely.
think that might be a little too twisted for Javik's sense of honor.
Keep trying to raise them. I may have another avenue. My lord, I'm Major Taris, commander of the 2nd Battalion. We have an emerging situation. I have need of your assistance and your discretion. We have a rescue operation that must be mounted immediately.
Is this someone important?
It's not a single person. We've lost contact with Besh Company's entire 1st platoon. We sent them into the Akara droid factory for a covert electronic operation. 8 hours ago, their communications blacked out, which means the droids are onto them.
That can't be good.
I'll be frank. Other than grass, the soldiers are the only living things within a click of that factory. That's the droid's protocol. Nothing survives. So when I say I need you to find 1st Platoon, I mean it.
It would be an honor.
Their ranking officer is Lieutenant Rutau. If the droids got him, then please, take command and lead the unit back.
A rescue mission seems much more up Javik's alley. So once we've established that if someone's having an issue with their DPS, it's not gear, it is the way they're playing the game. Now, like I said in our guild, we have the motto, play how you want. But when you enter a group activity, and there are certain goals that the group wants to achieve, and they decide to achieve them together, you do need to carry your weight in at least at the most basic way. You don't need to be the best player in the game, you don't have to be putting out 10,000 million damage, I'd be perfect, but you do kind of agree to try and do at least the minimum to pass the encounter when you join that group together. So if you decide to do a flashpoint, you agree to try and kill the enemies and get to the end of the flashpoint. When you join an operations group, you agree to try and kill the boss together and kill it. So because there's 8 people, everybody needs to do about 1/8 of the work. Sometimes you'll have a player who's like super awesome and they can do like 1/2 all by themselves. But everyone should at least try and go for whatever that 1/8 is, that minimum amount of damage that you're supposed to be trying to do.
Fixer 66 called with the details. I've got your comm units rigged and ready to go. Oh, my name's Toybox. Or that's what they call me. I used to make... Well, never mind. Quite a plan the Fixer's got. What do you think of it?
Unconventional and effective, it's tolerable work, or the Empire has no need of it. Wonder if that will get me anywhere.
It's closer to terrorism than warfare.
Yeah, if you ask me, Fixer 66 has been fantasizing about the results of this mission a little too much. He's assuming soldiers will be the ones stripping any resistance bodies, but civilians pick over bodies all the time. Refugees, sympathizers, sometimes you'll even see children do it.
It's regrettable. Unfortunately, no one makes a child-proof bomb.
No, but it's more practical to kill a soldier than a civilian, right? We want a high-value target. While I was making the bombs, I remembered I had some empty grenade casings lying around. Now, a comm unit anyone will activate. But if we trapped a grenade to explode when armed, only soldiers will be in the blast. What would you think of that?
Smart. I think Javiik can live with that.
Give me the grenades. I'll put them to use.
Here, they're all of the same type, so you don't confuse them with any you might be carrying. Just put them on the resistance bodies, and Fixer 66 will love the results, I guarantee it.
Wait a second. Did Javik's eyes just... Okay, good, they're still orange. I got scared I got turned, like, back into light 1.
Well, if it isn't the best paid engineering consultant on Balmorra. Oh my lord, I didn't realize. I mean, no one told me you would be Sith. My apologies for the familiarity. But if you don't mind me asking, what is someone like you doing working for Officer Sakol?
You paying me for that answer? Only my duty. Back off.
How much is it worth for you to know about it?
I could add a little something on top of this, for information that lets me pass Officer Sakol at the next evaluation. Call it a tip. 15%.
No.
Keep
That was
your
a
credits.
joke.
I'll just take what I'm owed.
Suit yourself. I'm sure I can find someone else who knows what Sakol's up to.
Not for me, though. Anybody else we need to talk to here? Oh, there's so many quests right here. I should hotkey my speeder. I have it hotkeyed on my main characters. It's so much nicer. But they all have the mount while running ability too.
I hear your exploits with Lieutenant Davril went well. I hope you didn't find him crass, my lord. Unlike my esteemed colleague, I do not base my mission's success on the decibel level of the explosions. Breaking the spirits of a resistance movement is like cooking a fine meal.
So what are the ingredients for this mission?
The resistance has the people's backing. We must crush the spirits of the people to crush the resistance. No doubt Lieutenant Davril told you that they've brought in cyborg mercenaries from off-world, using an experimental new drop technology to land them on the planet. These cyborgs are killing our soldiers left and right.
I'd be more than happy to short out their circuits.
Delightful. I believe we can catch them by surprise at this location. But here's the key. I want to send the Balmoran people a clear message.
Train.
Collect the technology the cyborgs use to drop onto Balmora and use it against them. Kill the cyborgs, collect the technology. What do you think?
I suppose it's not the worst plan I've heard.
I thought it was rather good myself. Bring me the cyborg technology, and I think the Balmoran people will get our message loud and clear.
Cyborgs? I thought we were done with cyborgs on Dromund Kaas. So once you've established that everyone in the group wants to try and meet that minimum threshold and no one's going to have hard feelings and say, "Don't tell me how to play!" Then you can start helping that person to learn how to do that minimum damage. Aw, dead body grenade. Ew. And what they first need to look at are what are they doing when they're attacking. Do they have any idea of what their rotation or priority system should be? Do they know what abilities they should be using to do a good amount of damage? So every class has most classes, I don't think any classes have a rotation anymore. They're all priority system. They have abilities are placed in an order called a priority system, and some abilities should be used before others or more commonly than others, and basically if a certain one's up, you should use it if X, Y, Z requirements have been met. So for example, let's go find a dead body. As you can see, I don't actually know my rotation for lightning, so please forgive me. When I use my lightning or force storm, then it makes this one sparkly, my chain lightning. And it either lets you cast it immediately without having to wait to cast. The sparkly symbol might mean it does more damage. Maybe it'll boost another one of your abilities later. They all do kind of different trigger effects. And keeping in mind these trigger effects, and keeping in mind the damage of each different type of ability. For example, AoE abilities do less damage to individual targets, but they do more damage overall to the sum of the targets altogether. Players have taken all this math and all these triggers together and made a priority system for different classes, basically a guide of when and how you should use your abilities. Now, if you don't know or haven't ever seen a guide like this for your class before, you might figure out a lot of it by yourself. For example, I know that after I use Force Storm, I should probably use Chain Lightning because it's sparkly or it does something cool when I press it. So there's a good chance you figured out a rudimentary kind of priority system on your own while playing because BioWare was nice enough to give us sparkly abilities. Now, what you might not know are the more minute details and different triggers that you might want to pay attention to. For example, there's almost always going to be a 100% best opener for every class, like what abilities you should use for the first 5 to 10 abilities that will give you the biggest burst of damage when you first encounter an enemy. And these can be fairly easy to memorize. Heck, if you're really bad at memorizing them, do what I did on my Sage. I literally just put them on a secondary... I put them on a quick bar in the order I'm supposed to use them when I start the fight, so I didn't have to memorize them.
Well, well. I should have known Bessaka wouldn't let me go without a fight. But sending a Sith seems a bit like overkill. Are you here to kill me, or are you going to torture me first?
His hair's so red.
Come peacefully and no one gets hurt.
I risked my life to defect to the Republic. You think you can scare me into returning? There are fates worse than death, and being an Imperial scientist is one of them.
Don't you think you're being a little dramatic?
I won't go back to that place. You don't know what it's like. We're not expected to be men. We're machines, slaving day in and day out. No intellectual freedom, no creativity. I'm tired of building killing machines. I want to do some good for humanity. I can't go back there.
I can promise you, I'm not trying to build a killing machine.
I know better than to believe the promises of a Sith. You'll have to kill me. I'll never return to the Empire willingly.
What? I don't understand. I can answer, I need you alive, subdue him, or I'll return you light side.
Do this one thing for me, and I promise to get you back to the Republic.
Oh gosh,
You're
you'll return you
serious,
to
aren't
the
you?
Republic, not to the Empire.
What kind of a Sith are you, anyway? Okay,
Really bad
I'll
at
go,
this dark side
but
thing.
I'm holding you to your promise. I can't be away from my research here for long. We're working on a new field medical technology. Nothing special, not even classified. Here, you should try one of these.
Uh-oh.
Sith, Major Bessica sent us in after you to collect the scientist.
Take him, but don't hurt him.
Of course. We'll see you back at Sobrik.
Cool. I hope he actually gets returned, because I don't know if I can actually follow up on that promise except with a lightsaber. I guess a lightsaber may be all you need.
Sith, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sure you're very busy. Congratulations, by the way. I heard that you found our scientist. We'll whip up that serum and get you into that toxic waste pit in no time. But there's a problem, and I need your help.
Just have the serum ready for me.
You'll get your serum, but you need to help me. It's my son. He arrived shortly after you left for the research facility, but then he went after some holocron, he called it. A few minutes ago, I got what I think was a distress call from him. He's in trouble.
He can handle himself.
Look, I didn't want to have to do this, but it sounds like I have no choice. This is my son we're talking about, and if you want your serum, you'll save him.
If you put it that way.
I'm sorry it had to come to this. I like you, I really do. We narrowed the origin of the distress call to an abandoned building near the Republic crater outpost. I'm guessing the Republic's captured him, which means a lot of fighting to free him. Good luck.
Oh, that's cool. So we're gonna go rescue his son, a Sith acolyte or apprentice who has been captured by the Republic. I think that's a good place to call it short. I'm looking forward to that quest a lot, actually. I really want to meet this son of his. I'm very curious about what he's like. Before I go, I will tell you guys about something cool coming up. The day I'm putting this out is going to be Thursday the 28th. So if you watch this the day it comes out, it's Thursday the 28th. On the 14th of October, that's a Saturday, I'm going to be hosting a celebration because we're going to be right around 20,000 subscribers at that time. So if you wanted to come along, make sure to try and keep the 14th free because there's going to be all kinds of crazy stuff going on that day. I don't want to spoil the surprise yet, shh, but at least you guys know the date now. I'll see you guys next episode. Bye!